What is going on, Trash Talkers? We're back with another episode for you. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the New York Jets and their 2021 season preview, including record predictions. All that and much more coming your way right now. Hey Trash Talkers, it's Mike here. Over 93% of you who view our show each and every day are not subscribed to the channel. If you could hit that red subscribe button, it would help us out tremendously, and it is completely free for you guys. If you want to stay up to date with our daily content, then click that bell icon and you will be notified every time we go live. Nick and I both really appreciate you subscribing to the channel, and we can't wait to keep making more daily content for you. All right, Nick, as we continue the series, we continue with the AFC East and finish up with the division, talking about the New York Jets, starting off with their additions. These are the key additions that the Jets brought on this offseason. Running back Tevin Coleman, defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins, Vinny Curry, Lamarcus Joyner, Corey Davis, Tyler Kroft, Zach Wilson, Keelan Cole, Carl Lawson, and Alijah Vera-Tucker. Of which do you believe are the biggest additions for this Jets franchise?
To me, it's going to be the addition of Carl Lawson and Sheldon Rankins. I think when you put these two next to Quinnen Williams, this is really going to be a defensive line that's going to hurt a lot of the other teams in the AFC East and the AFC in general. I think this is the pass rush that Robert Saleh is looking to replicate from his time in San Francisco. He's looking to get back to this heavy pass rush, this heavy attack, take some of the pressure off of the secondary that is very lackluster, that's very porous. I think that this pass rush is going to be the shining point for this defense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the New York Jets made some interesting moves here, tried to definitely get better this offseason, had the capital to do it, had the draft capital to get better. Obviously, for me, I think that the biggest upgrade was Zach Wilson over Sam Darnold. I believe that Zach Wilson provides a reset at the quarterback position. Zach Wilson, I believe, is a little better version of what Sam Darnold was, but they are hitting the reset on the rookie contract. They are getting themselves ready to be able to be free agency contenders, not only for this year, but for many years to come. While their quarterback is still under his rookie contract, they can fill out the rest of their roster with key free agents that are set to hit the market. That way they don't have to worry about overpaying, because they can do just that to attract free agents to come to New York to play for the Jets while they have a young quarterback that's still going to be getting ready for the NFL. So with some of these additions come losses, and I want to take a look at their losses, starting off with quarterbacks Sam Darnold and Joe Flacco, Henry Anderson, Breshad Perriman, Pat Elflein, Jordan Jenkins, and Tarell Basham. Out of these losses, which do you think will be the most impactful for the Jets moving forward?
Well, I think the loss of Sam Darnold is going to show right away. When you lose a guy who's been in the NFL for going to be 5 years now, that's a huge loss. Now you're going to a rookie, and you, like you said, you're hitting the reset. And so everything that you've gained through Sam Darnold, you're now going back to the very beginning and starting all over. Sam Darnold knew how to work with these weapons. He knew how the offense worked in the offensive line, and he had that chemistry down. And it was just about learning a new offensive playbook. Now Zach Wilson is learning everything all over, and it's going to hurt them in the win column. I think that they're going to suffer putting up points in the beginning. I think that Zach Wilson's going to be in a little bit of trouble getting used to the pass rush that he's about to face from the AFC East and the rest of the AFC. It's going to be a learning curve, and I think that the knowledge that Sam Darnold has, the veteran leadership he has, is going to be a big loss.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Flacco also being out of that quarterback room when you're bringing in a rookie quarterback is a massive loss as well. But I think the biggest loss actually comes on the other side of the ball. When you talk about Jordan Jenkins and Tarell Basham, and one player we didn't even mention because he's not signed yet, but Brian Poole, all three of these players not being there, being part of this defensive team anymore, I believe is going to be a huge loss for this franchise. Jordan Jenkins, Tarell Basham, they weren't great. They weren't the best. but they were role players and they knew what their role was. They did the dirty work. They played special teams. They did everything that they were asked of. Now you lose that and you don't have apt players to put in their position. I think that their loss is going to be compounded by the fact that, you know, they might have had the Carl Lawson addition from Cincinnati, but I don't think he's going to be able to fill everything that they lost in these both of these players. I just believe that overall they got worse on the defensive end of the field, and this is a bad look for the Jets moving forward with new head coach Robert Saleh taking over. All right, let's head over to their schedule and take a look at what their 2021 record predictions will look like. All right, taking a look at the schedule for the New York Jets, we start off with week 1 where the Jets are on the road to face the Carolina Panthers, face a familiar foe in Sam Darnold hosting his former team. I think this is going to be a revenge game that Sam Darnold is training all offseason for, getting his entire preseason ready to face his old team. And I believe that the Panthers are going to come out on top and to show exactly why Sam Darnold was the wrong person to give away.
In week 2, the New England Patriots make their way to MetLife Stadium, facing the Jets for the first time this season, and the Patriots have completely overhauled this team. It's going to be a huge new look for the Jets. They're going to be struggling to know what to do against this heavy run attack by the Patriots. The 2 tight end system is going to be a lot. The Jets secondary is not going to be able to keep up, and the pass rush is not going to be able to do anything against this massive offensive line the Patriots have put together.
In week 3, the Jets go on the road to visit the Denver Broncos, and this is going to be an interesting game because I believe that the Jets and the Broncos are kind of in the same boat, that they have some really strong pieces to their team, but they also have some very weak pieces. I believe that in Denver, the Broncos are one of those teams where you just don't want to play. You don't want to face them. I have the Jets losing this game in week 3 and starting their season 0-3.
In week 4, it doesn't get any easier as the Tennessee Titans make their way to MetLife Stadium. The Tennessee Titans, with the addition of Julio Jones, it doesn't matter if they had him or they didn't. Derrick Henry is still going to be the focal point of this offense, and he's going to shine for them in week 4 as he's going to be too much for Sheldon Rankins and Quinnen Williams to handle. He's going to run, push outside. It's going to be a big run day for Derrick Henry and the Tennessee Titans. They're going to get the job done in week 4.
In week 5, the New York Jets hit the road and go to the Atlanta Falcons. And again, this is not the same Atlanta Falcons that we're used to. They saw Julio Jones the week before, not in Atlanta. And I believe that the Falcons are going to struggle without Julio Jones. Calvin Ridley, he's going to really show that he's not a bona fide number 1. And I believe that this defense has a lot of work to do. The Jets are going to get their first victory in week 5.
In week 6, the New York Jets have their early bye week, and then moving into week 7, they are on the road in New England facing the Patriots for the second time this season. It's going to be a very similar result to the first time they faced off, as the Patriots are going to still be too much for young head coach rookie Saleh to figure out this offense. The defense is going to be a lot for Zach Wilson to learn, and this offensive line for the Jets is just not going to be able to stand up to this Patriots pass rush.
Then in week 8, the Cincinnati Bengals come to face against the New York Jets, and these are 2 young teams that are working their way through rebuilds and trying to get through the early parts of the rebuild, get through this season. And I believe that this is going to be one of the best games that the Jets have as far as matchups, because these teams are so evenly matched. Carl Lawson face against his old team. You have Joe Burrow versus Zach Wilson. A lot of storylines going into this one. I'm actually going to give the edge to the New York Jets here. I believe that they will come out on top and beat the Cincinnati Bengals.
After a big win in week 8, the New York Jets make their way to Indianapolis for a much tougher task, as Carson Wentz and Frank Reich are really putting on a show this season, and the New York Jets are going to have a struggle against Carson Wentz as he's using Michael Pittman and T.Y. Hilton as his 2 big wide receivers that stretch the field and are going to demolish the secondary that the Jets have not done anything to improve. I think the Colts are going to have an easy time in week 9.
Then in week 10, the Buffalo Bills come to town, and Buffalo Bills won the division last year, but they have other plans in mind, not only winning the division, but they want to hit the Super Bowl. They want to win and hoist that Lombardi trophy. That does not come easy, and they have to prove themselves against a New York Jets team that is just not going to be up for the task. They're going to absolutely roll over the New York Jets in East Rutherford for week 10.
Moving into week 11, the Miami Dolphins are headed to MetLife Stadium. Back to back divisional games for the Jets, and it doesn't get any easier as the Dolphins have an even better wide receiver attack than the Buffalo Bills. Will Fuller, Devontae Parker, and rookie Jalen Waddle are going to be a ton for this secondary to handle. To me, the Dolphins are going to be putting up a ton of points. Even if Zach Wilson can put up a ton of points with Corey Davis and company, it's still not going to be enough. The Dolphins defense has plenty of secondary depth to keep up with their weapons.
In week 12, the New York Jets take on the Houston Texans in Houston, and this is going to be one of those trap games that the Houston Texans, they haven't won too many games this season, and the New York Jets come into town expecting to win. I actually look for the Houston Texans to upset the New York Jets in this one because I believe that this is one of those games where the Houston Texans, they have a lot of veterans that used to be on winning teams that have been cast-offs. They're all very angry about this situation. There's no Deshaun Watson there this year. This is a complete rebuild for the Houston Texans, and I believe that this is going to catch the Jets by surprise. Look for the Texans to actually come out on top in week 12.
In week 13, the Jets are reeling right now after 4 straight losses, and they need to get a big win against the Philadelphia Eagles, who are also struggling this season. And you know what? They do just that. They get a big win in week 13 against Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts is not going to be able to do anything against this pass rush. To me, the Eagles' offensive line is very weak, and that Carl Lawson, Sheldon Richardson, and Quillen Williams are really going to take it to him. They're really going to make his life difficult, and I think the secondary gets a little bit of a reprieve. They're going to make some big plays off of some errant throws from Jalen Hurts.
I mean, sitting at 3-9, they've already matched their win total from last year, so not a terrible way for the Jets. They are still improving. They're still getting used to their rookie quarterback. They have areas that they're looking at. The New Orleans Saints come to town in week 14 and take on the New York Jets in East Rutherford, New Jersey. MetLife Stadium's going to be bumping this time of year, and the New Orleans Saints are not going to be ready for the cold, but doesn't matter because Jameis Winston, he's going to be ready for this Jets secondary. He's going to air it out to Michael Thomas. Alvin Kamara is going to have himself a day in the receiving game. I believe that the Saints will come out on top in week 14.
After losing to the Miami Dolphins the first time around in week 15, the Jets make their way to Miami, hoping to turn the story around, but it's still going to be a little too much for this Jets secondary. I think that they are going to be the story of the Jets this season. They're going to be the reason the Jets lose a ton of games because they just can't stop a nosebleed. The Miami Dolphins should have an easy time putting up points, and they will do just that. It's going to be a blowout by the Miami Dolphins.
In week 16, the Jacksonville Jaguars come to town, and this is a story of Trevor Lawrence versus Zach Wilson. Should the Jets have lost more games and maybe gotten Trevor Lawrence? This is the story of 1 and 2. It's going to be a huge matchup. This is going to be what both of these quarterbacks are measured upon moving forward, and I believe that the Jets are going to get this win. They are going to scrape by the Jacksonville Jaguars and really put the emphasis on the fact that they don't need Trevor Lawrence. They got their guy. They got Zach Wilson, and he is going to bring them to victory against Urban Meyer and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, you know what? I'm glad they got that win because in week 17, they have absolutely no shot against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There is no possible way that even if Tom Brady weren't playing this game, Kyle Trask would come in and absolutely obliterate the Jets because the weapons that he would have are unbelievable. They're just as good as Miami, but then when you look at this Tampa Bay defense, it is stout all over. There is not a single hole on this defense, and Zach Wilson doesn't even have a hope and a prayer to get past this team. The Buccaneers are going to steamroll the Jets in week 17.
Things do not get easier for the New York Jets to end their season as they face the Buffalo Bills, who are fighting for that number 1 seed in the AFC, and they still have to play all of their players. They still have to continue to focus on winning this game and getting to where they want to be. If you got a chance to lock up that number 1 seed, again, there's only 1 seed in football now that gets that bye week. The Buffalo Bills are looking to secure that, and that comes at the expense of the New York Jets and Zach Wilson. I believe that the Bills are going to steamroll the Jets early and just keep them at bay the rest of the game. Look for the Bills to win this one very early on.
Well, with a record of 4-13, it's not a great season by the Jets, but somehow it is an improvement. And I think when you take into consideration Robert Saleh, a rookie head coach, brand new system for this entire team, then rookie quarterback with an offensive line that is still lackluster, even after the addition of Alijah Vera-Tucker, that's still not enough. You still have an entire 3 other positions that need to be overhauled, and they have so many holes on the secondary as well that were not addressed throughout this offseason. And Robert Salah thinks that this is going to be good enough. It's going to prove to not be. And I think that it's going to shine this season. The secondary and the offensive line are going to be the two major stories of the Jets season this year.
I absolutely agree. I think the offensive line and the secondary are going to hold this team back from a lot of wins that they possibly could have had when you take a look at games like the Denver Broncos, maybe even the Indianapolis Colts, or the some of these fringe games that they could have won. Hell, I'll even give them the Houston Texans. That was a game that they should have won. It doesn't matter. These position groups that they refuse to address are going to be the Achilles heel for this franchise moving forward. Until Joe Douglas realizes that the secondary and the offensive line need to become priorities for this team, they're not going to go anywhere fast. Now, we're talking about a rookie head coach, a rookie offensive coordinator, and a rookie quarterback all in the same system, all learning at the same time. There's bound to be some bumps in the road. If you're a Jets fan, you're not looking forward to the season, but you just want to see what you have in Zach Wilson. If there's anything to grow from, I believe that there is. I believe that he is going to be a really good quarterback in this league. At this moment, the Jets are in a very bad spot, but that is right now. As they move forward, as they progress, as the years go on in his rookie deal, I believe the Jets will get better and better and better. And hey, 4-13, still better than where they were last year. They're going to have a top end pick to really focus on either the secondary or the offensive line yet again. I believe that this puts them in another spot to really bolster this roster. All right, well, that's going to do it for now. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. We go live every single day. That'll be all. Peace and love.